Okay, so good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us to our first coffee and conversation virtually. As you know, we have been doing this on the Bronx campus for quite some months now. But, with everything going on with the corona, we decided we're going to do it virtually, keep things going, keep you engaged, and we just get to meet like this at least once a month to just catch up, learn something new, and just have fun together. So just a quick reminder, if you're going to use your video, ensure that you mute your microphone. If you're going to use your video, make sure you're fully dressed, mute your microphone if you're not talking to the group. If you want to get our attention, whether it's Dr. Borja, Anne Marie, or myself, or anyone, use the chat and we'll address you and we'll tell you you can unmute your microphone and speak, just to keep it flowing. If you have a response, try to keep it within 2 to 3 minutes so everybody can get a chance to talk and to just let this conversation flow. I'm going to hand it over to Anne Marie to give you a little bio on Dr. Borja, who he is, what he does, and then he'll do his presentation. And then we'll have a time for question and answer. We will also have two giveaways, which will include Dr. Borja's book and a Amazon gift card. So stay tuned for the end of the meeting. Even if you have to, turn off your mic and your video, we would love if you would just stay tuned to, see what we have at the end. And now I hand it over to Anne Marie.
Thank you, Crystal. So I just want to say, I want to thank Dr. Borja for being with us today, but also Catherine, because she was the one, after attending one of our events a couple of months ago, when we were asking for some ideas of, who we can have in the future as guest speakers. She was the one that introduced me to Dr. Borja. So the reason why I bring that up is just that it's so important to stay connected, and networking is so important because you never know who you may meet and who may introduce you to someone else. So I want to thank both of them. And also for Dr. Borja, we was actually going to have him live and in person at our March event, but due to the circumstances, we were not able to have him on the Bronx campus. So he was more than willing to do this virtual event for us. So we thank him very much. So let me just give you a little background about Dr. Borja. He's the president of Borja Consulting Group and Financial Services Professional with Primary Financial. He helps families and businesses build wealth, protect assets, and manage cash flow. In addition, Dr. Borja assists small business owners with small business planning strategy and advice to small business owners. He's also spoken at several Fortune 500 companies, including New York Life and Mass Mutual. He's also spoken at Calvary Baptist Church and PGA Tour Superstore. Dr. Borja is on the board and is a treasurer of Prospectica, New Jersey chapter. Before being the treasurer, he was the vice president of professional development, assisting with webinars and programming such as speed networking, for example, to benefit Prospectica members. In addition, Dr. Borja is a co-liaison for ASIS International, New York City chapter. Also, Dr. Jairo serves on the National Young Professional Council for ASIS International. ASIS International is one of the largest organizations for security professionals to connect for the latest trends, certifications, workshops, monthly luncheons, and conferences throughout the world. Dr. Borja received his Doctor of Business Administration degree in marketing from Walden University in March 2019. He also received his Master's of Business Administration degree in management from Long Island University in May 2007. Lastly, Dr. Jairo received his Bachelor of Business Administration and Management from Berkeley College in September 2003. Dr. Borja lives in New Jersey with his wife Sophia and daughter Emma and stepdaughter Emil. So again, we welcome him to
Thank you so much
to be our guest speaker, and we're ready to go. Take it away, Dr. Borja.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for having me here this on a Saturday morning. Hope you're all safe with your families at this time. So this presentation that I put together and what I've been doing throughout the tri-state area is how to build relationships virtually. As you know, networking is about who you know and about connecting with your network and connecting with people. So now, how do you do it virtually? So the agenda is one thing that's been working for me, and I'll share that with you, is a little trick that I've been using on the financial side, how you could use kudos to people using recommendations, endorsement, commenting on posts, even video messaging. That's something that's new. Leveraging your alumni, the events tab, and then thought leadership. So that's the agenda for today. Okay, so whether you're making it, like whether you're a small business owner and trying to expand your network there, or even get to someone, an alum, right? So whether you having a client make an introduction, or have a friend to make an introduction, you could change the word colleague to client. You could also ask your first degrees connections on LinkedIn as far as making the introduction. So what does that look like? So for example, I even have a script for you guys. So for example, let's say if I'm connected to Catherine, and Catherine wants to connect, and I want to get connected to Anne Marie, I would say, hey, thank you, Catherine, for connecting. I really appreciate if you can make a professional introduction to Anne Marie via email, through LinkedIn. Our goal is to introduce my firm and to see how could it be a resource for her in the future, right? And then basically, Catherine would say, okay, great. And then Catherine would send the introduction email, introduction message by LinkedIn, say, hey, dear Anne-Marie, or dear colleague, by way of this email, I'll introduce you to Jairo Borja. He and his firm specializes in XYZ, and I think he'd be a great resource for you. Boom, right? It's a nice warm. I'm not cold calling Anne-Marie, or I'm not cold messaging or just hitting accept on Anne-Marie. It's a nice way for Catherine, for example, to introduce Anne-Marie to me, and that's just another way for me to expand my network. So think about that. That's just for one person, right? So if I was to do this for, even if Catherine was to do this for 3 people for me, right? So that'd be 3, right? And if I was to pick five of my friends a week, 3 times 5 is 15 connections a week, right? So I know it's about quantity, but at the same time, if I could get introduced to 15 quality introductions per week, that's how I'm expanding my network, and that's how I could expand my services and promote myself more. So that's a trick that I'm sharing with you guys, that I'm pretty sure you guys could watch the video afterwards, or I could share my PowerPoint deck, how you could use that to expand your network, right? And the same could be said about job search, right? So let's just say if Anne-Marie was job posted on LinkedIn, hypothetically, and let's say I wanted to apply to a job, and I knew that Catherine knew her. Sorry, Catherine, just picking on you so much because you happen to be there. So I would apply to the job and say, hey, Catherine, any way you could introduce me to Anne-Marie, or at least give her a heads up that I applied to this job. So at least we'll make the introduction that way, and that's another way from a job standpoint how you could at least the recruiter be aware that you've applied for the role. So this applies for both, if you're expanding your network for business or even for job search, right? So kudos using LinkedIn. Basically, it's a great way for you to create awareness. And basically, I just did a screenshot. Sometimes when you do these presentations, you don't know how the Wi-Fi is. So I just decided to screenshot a bunch of things and basically show on the home screen how to create a post. And over here, you could choose how do you give props, right, or give kudos to individuals, right? So why do that? I'm gonna make this a little interactive, right? So whoever wants to unmute themselves. So why do you think it's cool to kind of give props using LinkedIn? I want to make this interactive. Anybody want to volunteer? Catherine, you want to?
Yeah, it's a professional acknowledgement. One, using it as a platform, and any interaction in LinkedIn is mostly professional. So, it's very serious. So if I get a recommendation or someone introduced to me, I'm taking it serious.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree 100%. Thank you, Catherine. That's exactly what I was looking for, right? So if I'm getting props or kudos to Catherine, people are going to see that. They're going to see I'm a team player. And of course, that's all about the profile views as well, which I'll discuss later. But great answer. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good. All right. So as far as giving recommendations, think about it such as your testimonials, right? It's a great way for recruiters and hiring managers to read your recommendations on your profile. Just make sure that whenever someone writes a recommendation that you spell check, because it is going to be public information, so just make sure of that. It's great feedback from vendors, perhaps if the vendor wants to work with you in the future. And there's also great feedback from a hiring manager if they want to hire you. And there's also great feedback from former instructors or colleagues as well, especially if you're an entry-level person in the workforce. And it also assists you in promoting their brands, right? So is there any other reason why? Oh, so basically, okay, so sorry about that. So here's an example of my recommendations here in the bottom. So if you go to my actual LinkedIn page, you see recommendations given and recommendations received. So I don't want to pick on someone else, but why do you think it's also good to have, in your opinion, why is it important to have good recommendations page? I'm going to pick on Amory.
I was about to unmute. I believe it's good due to the fact that people will at least know what your skills are, because recommendations are usually based on people that's worked with you on projects or have worked with you in your current or past positions. So it really helps people to understand what your skill sets are, what you've worked on, what you've completed. So it just showcases that.
Yep, agreed 100%. Yeah, especially if someone wants to work with you in the future, whether it's for a partnership, for a lead, or even to hire you, they see that other people know about about your work ethic. So thank you, Amory. Thank you for that. So that's giving recommendations. Endorsements is good. It's good. A lot of them, and now you could even put a skill quiz there based off some of the skills that you know. But it's good. I believe you could put up to, I forgot the amount. I think it's like 99 or 100. So basically, for example, let's looking for a job, you could put that you're an expert in recruiting or leadership. And if someone was to do a keyword search for who do I know that's good in Excel, for example, they could do a search by Microsoft Excel. And similar to like a resume, they could pull up individuals who are experts in Microsoft Excel. So what do I mean by that? So you could do that. You're an expert in recruiting, expert in leadership, expert in networking, expert in career counseling. So you add that as part of your endorsements here. And what you can do is basically when someone is looking you up or looking for someone with those expertise, your name could pop up, which increases your probability or chances for an interview, or even a chance for them to hire you for some sort of job if you're on the consulting side. So it's important to kind of add your endorsements there. And basically just some of my endorsements here: event planning, social networking, resume writing, strategy, etc. Right? All right, so basically this is what I wanted to get into, right? The heart of the matter. So why comment on posts, right? So there's a difference between commenting and sharing posts. So when you like a post, you just pass it along the automatic approval, you automatically stamp up approval, right? So when you with the share, you have the ability to write your own comment, right? So I always say, every Catherine knows, right? Because I share a lot of stuff from other people. So I always share a lot of stuff, and I always add my 2 cents, right? So this way, it's not that I'm just passing along or likes. I've actually commented and actually cared, right? So depending on the relationship, it makes conversations and stay in touch with individuals, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, if I shared a post and someone liked it or someone commented on it, I could comment back to them and say, hey, we haven't caught up in a while. Let's have a sidebar conversation, right? Let's catch up via Zoom now, right? That's the new thing. So that's another opportunity for you to stay engaged and stay in touch with someone. And that's why it's important to always comment on your post. Also, profile views is important, because if you want to get viewed for a job or viewed to get hired on, important for you to be involved and not just like and not just share, but actually comment on the post, right? So LinkedIn has algorithms with 2 goals, right? It prioritizes content and it promotes engagement, right? So there's an old saying: relevancy trumps recency, right? So it's important to always, when you share content, you could also use hashtags similar to Twitter. Like for example, if you hashtag COVID-19 or hashtag jobless, whatever, it'll come up. There's a lot of articles based off that, right? So it's important for you to not just participate, but also prioritize your content, and also you could use hashtags like the ones I use a lot: networking, and Catherine's seen it, networking tips, networking, job search, employment opportunities. I always do that because I know that people from my network over the past decade know my background in that, and that increases my profile views and increases the opportunity for me to engage with other individuals, right? So for LinkedIn algorithms, goes under personal connections 1, interest relevance 2, and engagement probability 3. So my advice to you guys that you're as far as using LinkedIn, definitely you could like certain things to pass along. If you're sharing, you should write your own comments. And if you want to actually engage with individuals or engage in various conversations, you could do so. And then a lot of times I've done that in the past where I'll give an example. Happened to me 2 weeks ago. So I posted something. Someone said, "Hey, nice to hear from you. Nice, you're doing great things." I had a sidebar conversation. I happened to come up the next day that it was his birthday. Happy birthday! I commented, "Happy birthday." As a result, I was able to sit with him one-on-one, and now we're gonna. I'm gonna sit with him again and give him some financial recommendations. So just one example how I used commenting on one post, went from a comment to a private conversation, and then and eventually it led to now some financial recommendations. So that's an important reason why I comment on the post, and that's how you build your network virtually, right? So basically what I did here is just basic, I just showed what I just was just showed the showed a general screen as far as when you're commenting, and for example, you could follow certain hashtags and follow the conversation that way. That's basically what that is about. This is brand new. I think it's good. You have to have something scripted. Video messaging from LinkedIn, especially if you're looking for employment or if you're looking to connect with someone to do business with. I think it's great for you to use video messaging from the LinkedIn app. Something I haven't done, but I know I'm gonna start doing. When I want to start doing something scripted. Say, hey, I see you. You're having challenges with training. How can I? I want to see how can I set up some sort of informational interview, or as far as how can I help. Same thing, you could do the same thing if you're doing a job search, right? You could apply to certain jobs or connect with different alum, which I'll a little bit, and you could kind of say, hey, my name is X, Y, and Z. I'm an alum from Monroe from class of X, Y, Z. We'll love to set up a time for us to chat via Zoom, right? So I'm going to open it up. Why do you think it's good? Well, it has to be rehearsed, and it has to be not rehearsed. It has to be somewhat scripted. Why is this a cool feature now, you think? I'll go with Amory again. Why do you think it's cool?
I'm sorry, I muted myself. I'm sorry, what was the question? I was responding to something in the chat. What was the question?
No, good. As far as the video messaging from LinkedIn, right? So this is new. Of course, this could get out of hand, but if planned correctly, how could this be an advantage for either a person in job search or for a person, let's say, who's looking to connect with key decision makers?
Oh, I would say immediate connection with video messaging, as opposed to putting something into an email or into the comments and waiting for them to respond. Yeah. I would see this as being more instantaneous.
Right, exactly. And especially for someone like me who's looking to, good job.
It wasn't scripted. He didn't give me any pointers.
I love it. I know, not scripted. I love it. I swear, we didn't plan this. That's exactly why. And especially for someone like me or someone who's looking to present more, it's a great, I guess, cameo, a great little synopsis or a close little 30-second clip as far as my presentation skills and how I present myself, right? Reasons to use LinkedIn messaging. You could, like as I mentioned before, you could follow up with prospects. You could do some sort of team introductions. You could do, believe it or not, you could do product and service demonstrations for those who promote, items in security, or even in your case, your various businesses, and also client testimonials, right? So LinkedIn video message. So the script is very helpful. You should know the prospect's name, company name, and website. Or if you're looking for a job, the recruiter's name and their company and their website. Any information on the organization, and you should answer top questions. Interviewers ask you in advance. So basically, don't leave any doubt. You should basically, if you're trying to follow up, don't leave any gaps when it comes to setting up this video messaging, right? So to be as clear as possible, right? So that's what I mean by the tips on creating LinkedIn message, right? All right, so I use all you because it's my, Catherine was here, so this was not planned. So basically, this is good. This is definitely good for you guys, right? So
can I just say something about the video messaging?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, I think that's a great idea. However, if someone uses it and perhaps maybe is not good with regards to the video message they're leaving, it could be somewhat of a setback for them
Sure.
professionally, being
Agreed.
that we're now, in an age where potential employers are now Googling all of us,
Sure.
and they happen to Google in and look at a LinkedIn message that isn't a very good representation of us. It could be somewhat of a professional setback. So I guess what I'm saying is I think it's a good idea. However, I think if anyone is going to use it, yeah, just be very careful with
Yes. Agreed.
how they set up the video, what they're saying, and how they're presenting themselves. And we all think that we're being professional, but sometimes our ideas of professionalism is not the same as what other people think is professional. So I'm just saying, if anyone decides to go in that direction, do so with caution and be careful,
Yes.
and make sure you're representing yourself in the best possible light. That's
I,
all I had to say about that.
I agree, Michael, 100%, 100%. You would not, I would never want to recommend anyone to just improvise and do a selfie at a video that way. No, trust me, no. It has to be very rehearsed, very scripted, right? And be very
You'd be
careful.
surprised how many people probably will.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for that disclaimer. I really appreciate it. So this is great. I use LIU as an example. Catherine and I are alum from LIU, so you could leverage LIU, or you could leverage Monroe College, for example, whether you want to do business with other alum, or whether you want to connect with key decision makers, right? So basically, you could just type Monroe College up here, for example, and then you could actually type. You could do it by title, by keyword, or company, right? And then what you could do is you could check once that populates, you could actually check where they live and where they work, right? So why is this good? Because you're able to connect with different alum when it comes to decision making, or as far as helping you, whether it's a job or whether you're trying to connect with other alum who are decision makers, such as in the C-suite, and or who are decision makers for small businesses, right? So, Catherine, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in your business, I kind of know what you do a little bit. So why would this be good in your situation, being in hospitality? How would you leverage, let's say, the Monroe alum in this situation?
You're able to
Using the alum.
Yeah, you're able to make connections to see potential needs. So if I know someone's a small business owner or they're into travel, I know that would be a good prospect for me because the service I'm providing is essential to them.
Right. Exactly. And then you have that common connection, being that you're both alum from the same institution, right? So in my book, Cha-Ching, Networking Way to Success, that wasn't planned, by the way. I talk about via Formea, right? F stands for family, O stands for occupation, R stands for recreation, M stands for motivation, E education, and A achievement, right? So if you connect with your family, that's basically we could talk how, Catherine, you have a daughter, I have a daughter, that's a connection there. Occupation, Michael, you're in education, I'm in education, in a similar space, right? Recreation, let's say I like MMA, I'm excited for tonight's UFC, or if someone likes UFC, you could kind of make that connection there. M, motivation, is basically what motivates the individual. It could be money, it could be family, it could be fame, whatever it is. E, education, that's where this comes in, right? So being the fact that we're both part of the Monroe, or in this case, LIU, you and I, Catherine, we have that common ground and we're able to establish a conversation and make that connection that way. That's what happened today. Case in point, right? We were both alum from LIU. We go way back. I don't want to say way back, right? And we were able to have lunch. Went back when we were allowed to have lunch, and we were able to make that connection. And eventually, you introduced me to Anne-Marie, and eventually, I'm here on a Saturday morning presenting to you guys. So that's a perfect example of how I use my my network in order to to help me, and then most importantly help Monroe College, right, in this case, right? So that's, and then the A stands for achievement. Let's say if I have a doctorate, others have a DBA, for example, and that's that common ground you could establish there. So FORMEA, that's the acronym that's in the book. And most importantly, in all seriousness, you could use the alumni. You could definitely leverage, if you have it, you should definitely use the alumni tab and leverage the alumni network for LinkedIn. Right? Whether you're looking for a job or whether you are trying to connect with other alum in order to expand your business. So for sure, definitely 100% recommend you use that. So how to reach out to alum? I gave a basic script. You could actually interchange it, right? So hi, my name is Jairo. I'm a senior accounting manager at blah, blah, blah university. Find your information through alumni office. Just want 20 minutes of your time for a coffee. Hear about what you do on a daily basis, your career path. Would you like to work in the field? Of attach a copy of my resume so that you can have a frame of reference and education and experience, right? So this is an example if you want to connect with another alum to do kind of an informational interview, right? So why do I think I added this part or I added this part at the end there? Amory, I'll go Amory again.
Well, I was going to say, anybody in any of the other participants would like to answer that?
Sure, sorry, I picked on too much.
That's okay.
I only see you on the screen. See you,
No.
Catherine, Michael, that's why.
Okay, no, it's okay. Does anybody else would like to answer that question? Anyone?
I think it's really to spur on some interest on someone who can potentially be an employer or connect them with someone else. I've never actually used this. I guess my generation, all my professional experience, was done a little bit more old-fashioned back in the past. But
yeah.
I do see where this is relevant, and I've actually had students that have sent me emails after a couple of years, also sending me their resumes, and yeah, I do look at them, and if I see something there that I can think of, maybe somebody that I may know that could use their talents, yeah, I definitely pass it along. So again, it's another way of networking.
Yep. Thank you very much, Michael. And it's another way for you to expand your network and leverage your alumni. And this is an exact script, which I'm pretty sure I could share the deck, and I'm more than happy to share with you guys. And basically, giving you the template of how to expand your network from an alumni standpoint. And you could use this either way, either if you're expanding your business, just interchange some of the words, or if you're looking to connect with other alum from an informational interview standpoint. So thank you very much. Thank you, Emery.
Hi.
Yes.
This is Sue. I just want to
Sue.
jump in. Hi.
Sure. Hi.
I wanted to jump in and say something cool about the script. I think that's also important because I recently been doing research on introverted and extroverted management personalities, and I think this will be great for someone who is not normally comfortable with reaching out to people. So this is something that can make them feel more comfortable when sending the message, as far as the script goes. So I think it's really great.
No, thank you so much. Thank you, Sue. Thank you for chiming in. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Awesome. So basically, what I wanted to show you now, I think this is good for those of you in event planning. LinkedIn over the past couple of weeks, maybe even months, you could create events similar to how. So basically, it's over here. This is on the main page, and that's where you create the event. You hit the plus sign, and you create the event name. Who's the organizer? Is it an online event? Yes or no? You could add a live stream if it's a webinar, date and time, et cetera, right? So, so basically, the reason why I mentioned this, because on Facebook you can kind of invite as many people as you want, but a person like me who has 10,000 plus connections on LinkedIn now, Facebook, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of my family and personal friends over the past, decade and a half or 2 decades, right? So with LinkedIn, I have more of my professional network. So what I want to do down the line is to have some sort of mastermind or have some sort of networking group where we meet virtually once a week. I guess it'd be virtually for the time being. And what I want to do is, how can other business owners, how can we help each other, right? So I could do that on LinkedIn now, as opposed to just depending on Facebook. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for me to expand my network that way. But how do you do that? So basically, I just give the exact instructions. You go to the home icon, as I just pointed out, from the panel on the left-hand side. You add icon next to the events, and then a pop-up that appears. You click create, and it's basically the same instructions as far as how to create a LinkedIn profile, right? And then basically, to close out, as far as from a thought leadership standpoint, ask from a offer ratio value in return that's more in it, that it's invested time, right? So basically, you know, how can I help as far as whether it's a webinar or information from a Zoom meeting? How would I be able to solve a problem, right? It's not for me. It's not just about, hey, what's in it for me? What's in it for me as far as ROI, ROI, ROI. So how can I help the community, right? So how can I help solve the problem, right? So one of my mentors say, hey, you're in business to solve a problem, not necessarily you are, and obviously the monies and all that will come after. That's what it's about, right? So basically, ask offer ratios about how can you help the communities, right? And in my case, it's about whether it's hosting a webinar or a mastermind, and kind of what I want to do, or have a sort of like virtual meeting or virtual event. And I think the more you do that, the more you have participants like today sign up, and then you could collect their first name, last name, emails, and then from there you could drip on them and see how can you expand and work together and collaborate with them in the future. And that's definitely another way how could you expand yourself virtually. We could do another webinar on the webinars and all this stuff, but just for argument's sake, definitely think about that. Ask offer ratio value and think about expanding your network by offering something similar to what I'm doing today. You're collecting name, first name, last name, and email. You could put them in your CRM, and basically you could connect with them and do further business with them, but at the same time giving back to the community. All right, so your action plan. So definitely, I definitely recommend, of course, and I'm going back to the basics, right, from LinkedIn, ensuring that, of course, you have a profile, but most importantly, have a professional headshot. I guess for the time being, it's tough to meet with a photographer, but at least in the interim, find a blank wall where you could take a selfie or have someone take a picture of you. Make sure your summary is good. I'll see if I could pull up my live profile in a minute. I'll try. Experience. Make sure you have your experience. Make sure your volunteer information is all up to date. This is optional, but of course, this has to be very strategic. You could also try to try out for a week, sending out 10 messages per day from a video standpoint to your first degree connections or prospects, right? Or even just 10 messages in general. Comment and share posts. Give kudos once in a while. Endorse where you can. Ask or receive recommendation. And at the end of the day, I hope this all helps. It's all about keeping engaged, keeping yourself involved, keeping yourself relevant so that you could expand your network. And I hope all these tips that I shared this morning definitely helped you out. I'm going to see if I can pull up my LinkedIn profile in a minute. Before I do that, I wanted to give a cheap plug to my book, Networking Way to Success, available now on Amazon and networkingwaytosuccess.com. It's bestseller, and please, let's keep it up there, all right? If you want to schedule a 15-minute discovery call, I'm more than happy to help you out as far as expanding your network and helping the small business owner. Or even if you have a question regarding job search, I'm more than happy to give you a free consultation there. I did work at Berkeley for a decade, so and I've placed a lot of students on internships and jobs throughout the years. So you can also reach out to me there. Any questions? So I hope that was, I hope I didn't go too fast, but I am definitely going to stop sharing my screen. We could do a little Q&A, and I will try to pull up my profile in the meantime.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So my first one is, how have you been able to pivot your business due to COVID-19?
Good question. What I've been doing is, as you guys know, I have a book, and originally I had all these speaking engagements lined up. So what I've been doing is pivoting my business to virtual, to a lot of webinars. So now I'm blessed this month. I'm very busy this month where I have a lot of speaking engagements. And as a result, that's really kept my name out there, kept myself relevant. And as a result, I'm also getting a lot of inquiries, and a lot of people wanted to sit with me one-on-one. So actually, it's been good. I've been blessed where I'm driving less, I'm spending less on gas, and I'm spending less on lunch, outside lunch, and I'm cooking at home, and I'm actually, I'm having 3 to 4 Zoom meetings back to back, as opposed to wasting a lot of time driving and so I've been pivoting. So to answer your question, I pivoted my business to Zoom and pivoted my business to doing a lot of webinars.
Okay. And then my other question, my last, is how important is groups on LinkedIn, and how can we leverage them better? Because we do
Absolutely.
have a couple of groups for Monroe, and we just need to do, like, I think, a better job of just connecting to the members within the group. So
Yes.
how can we leverage them better?
No, agreed. One that I thought about putting on the slide and wound up not doing it. I'll probably do that for my next presentation. But definitely, yeah, I would definitely say keep participating in the group discussions. I would say try to have, topics that are relevant to today so that individuals can participate in. And the more participation you have, the more engagement you have, and the more engagement you have, and as long as you keep it up to date, what happens is, and I'm guilty, like I'm part of certain groups. I actually administer one for the security, and we haven't posted in a couple of weeks. So, the less you're engaging, other individuals are engaged. So you want to ensure that whatever group you start, that you kind of at least post a few times a week, whatever topic it is, just to kind of keep it fresh. So I hope that answers your question. That's something that I need to do more. So that's a very good question.
This is so interesting. Can you hear me, Crystal?
Yeah, we could all hear you.
Yes, we can all hear you, Mrs. J.
Oh, it's
Yes.
so interesting. So I'm just trying to figure out, as alumni director, I mean, this is so valuable. Where would you suggest we post this as a video? Is that what we're planning, Crystal and Anne Marie? We're going to keep it as a wonderful instructional video?
Yes. So I will post the video to LinkedIn and on our Facebook.
And post it in the group too for
and in the group, I'll email everybody with the deck and the tips from Dr. Borja.
Right. But I do agree with Dr. Borja. We need to do a better job of staying connected via these groups, because the information, when you look at the information in some of the posts, they really like a week before or 2 weeks before. So one of the things Crystal and I discussed is just at least posting like 2 to 3 times a week in the groups, and not only just for the coffee and conversation, but just for different things. When we think about Toastmasters, and we'll give Greg a little chance to do a little plug about that, and we think about Monroe Connect, we think about the directory. We just need to do a better job of pushing the information. It's the better, for lack of a better word.
If I might also interject, hi everyone, how are you?
How you doing?
Emil
Hi, Emil.
one of our professors.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Emil.
How you doing?
Hi,
Nice to meet
guys.
you.
So
Nice to meet
good
you.
to see everyone. Dr. Borja, thank you for today. The other thing I think that's a great place to start is I'd like to see us do a better job. One, connecting all of our systems is great. And, in terms of networking, it seems to be the buzzword, and it's the common thread right now. But one of the first places that our alums go to connect with us is on our website, our actual school's website alumni page. And we should update better that page. This video should be something they're able to see. It's one of the things we ask our students to do when they graduate is to go onto the website and register as an alum. So the first place they will really interact with our alumni association is on our very own website. And this video and videos like this is like, what are we doing? Sort of like a tab, what have you missed? What are we doing? Gives them a connection to some of these things, and that's the connectivity. So I think part of where the disconnect is tends to be that, we have them connect on our Monroe website, and then how do we thread all of that information together so it runs on Monroe Connect, it runs on Instagram, it runs on Facebook, it runs on LinkedIn. And I think what we've been doing, which I think has not been effective, and we're going to fix it, is we do it in one area and it's not a consistent thread.
Crystal and I talked about that too.
Right.
Yeah, Crystal and I talked about that. And I think to your point, Emil, what I think would be good too is almost like when they do sign on there, just some tips of, have you done a LinkedIn profile? Have you done an Instagram profile? Have you, just like 3 or 4 things, because right now it's like social media is everyththing, right? If you're not on social media, so it's almost like to be like these are the 4 things you need to do.
Checkbox, right.
Crystal or Anne Marie, I don't have the picture. Do we think the Zoom turned it off because we have to pay for more than 40 minutes? That's the question.
No, we're still on.
What picture?
No,
was
we're
it?
on.
I hear you, but now I haven't touched anything, but I don't see you. I
Do
hear
you see the Zoom icon at the bottom of your screen?
the Zoom icon. Where? Give me a clue.
It's a little, it looks like a little, it looks like
A little blue
a
camera?
camera, like a camera. Yeah, it looks like a camera.
Yes. Okay. I see.
Click on that.
Okay. Hold on.
Because we are seeing you, we're hearing you.
Oh, now I see you.
Awesome.
There you go.
We minimize that.
No, I think this is so excellent. And
So yes, so anyway, I'm sorry, back to Emil's point though. So maybe that's the first page, and we just give like these little quick tips on, you know, make sure you create a LinkedIn profile, make sure you have a Facebook profile, make sure whatever. And then, you know, these are the links that you need to be engaged in, LinkedIn groups, whatever it may be. It's just probably like I call it, for lack of a better word, cheat sheet,
Right.
or tip sheet, whatever you want to call it, right on the Monroe page.
I have a quick question. Do we, for all the events that I can't remember that one would want to organize on LinkedIn, do you have to pay for that, or is there some sort of minimum?
No, it's free to do the event. It's free.
All the events are free.
Yeah, to create the event on LinkedIn, it's free. It's like similar to Facebook. It's free. So.
Yes, and you can also create an event on Monroe Connect. What that will do also, if you do it through Monroe Connect, it will send an email to all the members to say so-and-so is invite you, similar to what I've been doing for Toastmasters.
Right, yeah.
Say so-and-so have invited you, but I do it through Monroe Connect, so I can lead some of the traffic there.
Okay, perfect. And I just have one other comment, and I think Dr. Altamirano touched on it. It's the one about the video messaging. And I know it's a good thing to do, but it's also can be dangerous.
Of course.
Yeah, in terms of what you put out there, right?
Of course.
That was good that, Doc, that you mentioned that, because I had actually made note of that to talk about it in the discussion. One other thing that I would want to mention too is I think there's a dashboard that I can't remember what it's called, that you can take all the systems, all the platforms, Instagram.
Hootsuite, where you could do it. Yeah.
What is that called?
Hootsuite, it's called.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, and you can consolidate. So maybe that's something that we can think that we can use to consolidate or to put together all the various social media pages or platforms, and then we can just do a blast, and then everybody on those various platforms will get our message in.
Yep.
Can you repeat the name of the platform for me, please?
It's called Hootsuite. HOOTSUITE. Hootsuite.
Okay.
Something of the word sweet.
I know I'm hungry now.
It's brunch time. I did say bring your brunch.
There was no coffee. Where's the coffee I'm doing?
I know. Well, I just got my tea.
Coffee.
I got my tea.
You're supposed to bring your own. Normally when you said bring your own beverage. Does anybody else in any of the other participants have a question for Dr. Jairo?
Not a question, but a comment.
Sure.
And then Greg, before we go, you'll talk about Toastmasters if you want to. But to Anne-Marie's point, one of the things, Dr. Altamirano and I both teach at the college, and we're both alums. And one of the programs we've instituted that's been actually quite successful is our students now, before they graduate any of our platforms, any of our degree programs, have to have a professional LinkedIn page and a professional resume together. That is something we instituted as a part of our undergraduate program.
That's good.
As our students are graduating, we have had sessions, obviously in the past, where on a Saturday like this, any student can come in. We've hired a professional photographer to get that professional photo taken so that they are presenting their best selves to the world. So that's something, there are many great reasons why our school is successful, but how we care about our students and how they present themselves is typically very, very important. And so that's the physical part, right? Because as someone who've hired people, people create resumes and then they walk in the room and they don't sound or look anything like this resume that you thought was, you know, walking into the space.
Right.
And so the other thing that this group, and I say that specifically the alumni group, has also been instrumental in doing is getting them to sound like they are graduates with bachelor's degrees. We serve an urban population. We are unashamed of that.
Yeah.
But we do realize that in that mix, not everybody will sound professional or look professional. And so we do work on that. And to that end, we also started a Toastmasters program.
That's good.
That is really aimed at, you know, one of the tragedies we saw in the classroom, Dr. Altamirano and I a lot, is that whenever it came time for people to do public speaking in the classroom, they'd all be absent for the most part.
Yeah.
And you always knew the ones who weren't going to show up the day of, because they'd just been dreading it the entire semester. You know, we tell them on day one so they could get ready, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
And so we thought, let's get them ready.
Right.
And so that's the other thing. So I agree with them both in the sense, and I think we speak about that only because we see it so much. And so articulating is not easy for everyone.
Right.
And so that's why the video is something that I think people would need to carefully consider. So to that end, Greg, you have the floor on Toastmasters.
So we've been having our Toastmasters meeting virtually. And for those of you on the call, if you have never experienced a Toastmasters meeting or don't know what Toastmasters is all about, it's really about communication, networking, and leadership, right? If you have a certain skill set, how weak or how strong you are, you can always improve on those skill sets, right? So we took it to the next level where, okay, we still have our meetings in the classroom or in the room. And now, due to the COVID, we had to go virtual. And Crystal has been very instrumental in helping me, you know, kind of driving and organizing the whole meeting online. So we moved from a classroom to now a virtual space, and then we are building our relationships. See, I've been listening. we've been building relationships with the persons that are coming to the meeting, and maybe I'm sure you probably know what Toastmasters is all about. And like I said, if anybody that doesn't know, we can always discuss this after, or call me and I can give you full detail and description. But how can we leverage what you say there? How can we make our meeting a little bit more personal in terms of using, in terms of building relationship? How can we use this to better our meetings, to make it more active, more interactive, more interesting? What do you think?
So how to use Toastmasters and how to leverage that and to incorporate what I just said today and what I presented. Okay. Now I don't know the curriculum, so I apologize. So do they speak once at the end, or do they speak throughout the semester, or how does that work?
So the format is you come to meeting. It's well organized. We have an agenda. We have a table topic master. We have a Toastmaster, right? We have a grammarian. We have someone to give evaluations, and then we have the speakers. And somebody would go with a prepared topic, and then come and then deliver it in this setting, right? So the speech is about, tell us about yourself in 5 to 10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, 5 to 7 minutes. And they would talk about themselves in 5 to 7 minutes. And then somebody else would evaluate this person and give them feedback, right? So this is part one of the meeting. The other part of the meeting would be the person would then get evaluated by someone who's listening to them, making sure that there's a body, a beginning, and a beginning, a body, and an ending of this speech, and just giving feedback to this person personally, right? Like we always say in these meetings, no one there is an expert, but it's just how you feel about how this person can improve themselves, right? So this is pretty much what happens, and everybody participating in the meeting, we consider them to be improving on their leadership skills, because you have a role to play. And you have to give a report of that particular role.
Right. I'll give you a tip. What I used even way back in the day in undergrad for speech communication that I took. What we did was, and I think this would be a great thing, and I think it's something that people like to talk about things that they're passionate about. So for speech communication, for example, we did was pick a topic. Mine was the Mets. I love the Mets. I love baseball, right? So throughout the semester, we went, do it in 2 minutes, do it in 5 minutes, and then do it in 10 minutes. And and back then, this is like when we had to use VCR. So that's how I'm dating myself, right? so we were able to record ourselves, and then we used to watch the tape back when we used to watch the tape. Wait ourselves at the 2 minute mark, 5 minute mark, and 10 minute mark.
Right.
So I would suggest, yeah. So basically, I would do something similar. I would do a similar thing where have them pick a topic that they're passionate about, that that they love to talk. Like I love to talk about sports, and then break it down that way: 2 minute, 5 minute, and then the grand finale is 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure you could do that same thing virtually, and I'm pretty sure you'll see a progression of them improving from 2 minutes to 5 minutes to the 10 minutes, whatever. So
all right, thank you.
Something to think about.
Right, and then just so you guys, we meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. We've already sent out invites. I know Anne-Marie and Catherine, you guys should have gotten it, and Emil and Doc, because you guys are part of the email chain. So feel free to join us this Wednesday coming, right, Crystal?
Yes, it's this Wednesday, the 13th of May. 6:30. I will be on from 6 if you want to come on early.
I just wanted to add to that Greg has been trying to get me to join Toastmasters for 2 years. And because of just timing and scheduling, I was not able to. And I have to truly say, there's always a blessing in challenging times. And because of the fact that now it's being done via Zoom, I'm actually have been joining for the past couple of sessions. So I say that to say that because it's so convenient to join it now, because we're doing it via Zoom, I will encourage everybody, if you have a chance to join, please do. The last session was really enlightening because we actually did touch on subjects, Dr. Borja, where 2 of the guest speakers talked about some of the things that has been going on with them due to COVID-19 and how it's affected them. So it was really emotional and touching. So it's a good platform and forum to just be with people. It's a safe space, very safe space. And I will encourage everyone who is even on the call today to please join us on Wednesday, because it's a good program to join. And it's convenient. You can stay now in the comfort of your home and sign on. You don't have to travel anywhere. So I will encourage everybody to do that. And on that note too, I just want to speak about next week, we're going to also have another coffee and conversation, but it's dedicated to the alumni who are entrepreneurs, who would like to just come on for about 5 to 10 minutes and just talk about their products and services, because we know a lot of entrepreneurs are being hit right now. I'm one of them that, I have a jewelry business and health and wellness, and it's kind of taking a hit right now due to the fact that I can't be out there vending like I used to. So again, I have to think of other ways that I can showcase my products and services. So we want to help the alumni that are entrepreneurs just come on and talk about their products and services and see if they can gain some customers and clients by just showcasing what they have to our current alumni, and we can support them, right? We're here to support each other. So that will be next week, Saturday from 11 to 1 o'clock. Please reach out to Crystal and myself. Crystal's actually been posting some of the information. I'm going to start marketing tomorrow, but we would like to have you join us. And if you have a business that you would like to showcase, please let us know, and we'll definitely have you on for 5 to 10 minutes to talk about your products and services. We also want to give back to our alumni, and we want to be that support system for you guys. So please join us next week, Saturday, same time.
And Dr. Borja, it's not exclusive to our alumni.
Okay.
We have a business directory that we have on our Monroe College Connect. And if you want to offer this as a special gift or service to some of your clients that you're working with, a chance to actually be part of Toastmasters or a chance to promote their business, we will be happy to include them, because we really appreciate you coming on and you speaking, and it's really been excellent. So I thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So do we have any other questions? Does anybody want to add anything before I do our
I want to do one
raffle.
thing. I want to share, Amber, I want to share my screen one last time.
Sure.
I pulled it up. I would just, let me just real quick, before you move on. Sorry. I wanted to do this before. Do you see my LinkedIn profile real quick?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is just the summary that I was talking about. So a lot of people say, hey, what should I do? So I learned this a couple of years ago, actually last year, as far as you could do symbols here, download symbols here, and then basically it's a easier way for individuals to view
And
your
how it's
profile.
formatted now.
Yeah, exactly. So people know the little bit
And this is
overview.
neat.
Yeah, so basically explains how to get, explains my journey to, to where I'm doing today. So over 15 years of experience managing people, getting my degrees, and basically what I do now, and what am I licensed in, right? And then a little bit about me, and this is more personable, so people could connect with me on a personal level, that I'm a big Mets fan, big wrestling fan, MMA, the services that I provide. If anyone wants to purchase my book, it's on the site. And then how to contact me, it's the most important thing. So I have my email there, and then I have my contact information there. So I wanted to share that. Wasn't on the PowerPoint, but I definitely wanted to share it with you now. I have my feature as far as the book, and then I have also what I wanted to share was my experience, right? It's all up to date. Make sure that's up to date, and then any education is up to date, and then my volunteer experience, that's also important, because people see that you always give back to the community. And my skills, that's what I was talking about before, is there, and then the recommendations is at the bottom, and then accomplishments, you also want to add that as well. So that's basically my 2 cents.
Okay.
Not a problem.
So we're gonna do our raffle. That's gonna be our first thing. First
Okay.
gift.
Remember to if anybody else wanted to share.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if somebody just came on. Tanisha.
Yeah, I have her, Tanisha.
I just wanted to say that I
Isonia,
really enjoyed this
Quasian.
this conversation today. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Dr. Altamirano.
One more to come.
We need
Is there
the
anyone-
autograph of Dr. Borja. We have to.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
You'll have to scan it, and I'll have to put it in your.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's funny.
If Andrea wants to say anything, I know she said her mic wasn't working. Quasian, we just want to give everyone a chance to say something.
Okay. Well, what happened was I didn't have my earplugs in. And I'm like, why can't I hear anything? So I went in and out of the meeting, and then I realized, well, my headphones weren't on, so I couldn't hear anybody. But I'm basically, because I'm a massage therapist, of course, and I do a lot of events, and everything got wiped out in about a week. So right now what I'm doing is, because I'm learning like about breathing workshops, aromatherapy, things that I wanted to do before. QuickBooks, WP Beginning, where you actually learn how to like fix your website and stuff like that. So basically I'm just kind of like rebranding myself, if you want to say that. So that's basically what I've been doing.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So our first giveaway will be Dr. Borja's book. So I put everybody's name except for Crystal, myself, and Mr. and Mrs. Jerome in here, because we're kind of exempt from all
I'll give you
of
this book. I'll sign this one, actually.
And he'll sign it, and we'll make sure we get it. So you see that I'm shuffling it around.
It's not rigged.
My hand in there.
Do we have the auditors online? Is Monroe's auditing online?
And the book goes to Mr. Greg Scotland.
Oh my God. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So the
I'll
book
send you a message via LinkedIn
Borrow your
with
book.
your address.
autographed, and we'll definitely get it to you. The next
Yep.
one, I'm going to hand it over to Crystal, because we're going to have Dr. Borja ask a question.
Yes.
Then whoever gets the question correctly will win our 20, and whoever gets the question correctly the first time, meaning that I know some people may have the same response, but whoever does it the quickest is going to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So Dr. Borja, take it away. whatever the question, and Crystal will just
I'll
see
make
who
it
answers
easy.
first.
How do you search for alum on LinkedIn?
Oh, we didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
How do you search for alumni on LinkedIn?
You into Monroe Alumni?
Monroe College?
What was that, Tanisha?
You do a search for Monroe Alumni.
You go to Monroe College Alumni. And what else?
You type in the person's name in search. So if you're looking for Dr. Borja, you just put Dr. Borja in the Monroe
Greg,
group.
you already won something, Greg.
You already won something. So. I'll take it.
Donate.
That's good. That's good. She got it right. She got it right.
All right. So
okay, so Tanisha.
the Amazon gift card. So I'm gonna turn it over to Crystal to just give you a little bit more information about Monroe Connect and what else we're doing, what else we have coming up. And then from there, we'll just have Mr. Jerome kind of close this out. And then we hope to see you guys 2 more events, Wednesday, Toastmasters, next week, Saturday. And we have some other events that Crystal and I are going to be working on for the next coming months. So please stay connected. We will try to push the information out as much as possible so that we have you guys continuously stay engaged. So Crystal?
Yes, and of course, if you guys have any ideas about what we can do to keep, alums engaged at this time, anything, reach out to me. We're open to new ideas. Mrs. Jerome is always welcoming new ideas. So don't be afraid to reach out, tell us what you think can happen, and we'll put it together to reach alums in the best way possible. Right now, I would love to take a group picture. We always take a group picture.
I want it for my LinkedIn.
You can turn
please.
on your camera if you want to be a part of the picture. If not, that's okay. But I'm gonna take the picture now, so you can smile if you want. Yes, I saw they turn on their camera for the picture. You don't have to turn on, but I'm gonna take it now. So. One more.
I want to take one too.
Oh, I'm waiting on Catherine. Okay, let's get a better angle. Thank you.
Wait, I want to take one more. I want to take one.
One more.
One more for me. Ready? 3.
2.
Wait. 1. There you go.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
everyone, for joining us.
As for Tanisha, I am not seeing you on the registration list. So I'm gonna ask you to send me your email in the chat box so I can reach out to you with your gift. As for anybody else who wants to hear more, reach out, Monroe Alumni at monroecollege.edu. We're looking for creative ideas, things we can move forward, things to just keep persons engaged and active at this time. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'll hand it over to Mrs. Jerome to do our little conclusion. And
well, I want to thank you so much. I have to tell you, Chairman Jerome brought in a wrapped York mint. Is that like love? I think it is to keep me with sweets. But Dr. Borja, this was excellent.
Thank you.
I really appreciated your insights and your down to earth facts. So we will definitely promote this on our different sites. And we want to offer any of our special things like Toastmasters or our business promotion, which will go on next week, to any of your clients, that because we want to make this all inclusive. But we appreciate your time, and I'm so happy to see all of you who came on. And I wish everyone a lovely day, and I am really happy the way it worked out. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question regarding Toastmasters.
okay.
How do I join the meeting? And let's say if I want to give a presentation, I'll be a presenter. Is that possible?
Yes, it is. So Tanisha, I just saw your email in the chat. What I'm going to do, I'm going to email you not only your gift certificate, but I'll give you the information about Toastmasters and how you can get started, okay?
Yeah, because I'm actually a member of Army Toastmasters, and I'm also the newly elected Division C director.
Okay.
So
You're
I'm just
seasoned.
trying to, you know, connect with other clubs and.
Amazing.
Okay. Greg, I see
And Anne-Marie and Crystal and anyone else who participated, I think you did a great job, and I really thank you so much for your time and effort.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Have a lovely weekend.
Happy weekend.
Mother's Day to
Happy
all.
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Take care. Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Happy Mother's Day.